What's up everybody? It's Rallycross Chris. Today we got this aluminum radiator and we're going to put it in the rally car. I'm super excited about doing this new upgrade because first of all, this is like the first upgrade we're actually doing to the rally car since we've got it. All we've done really today is just like interior restoration and a new engine.
Beautiful. It's a happy dad.
So I guess that's a bit of an upgrade, but it's a stock engine. And yeah, this is like the first little performance bit we're getting here. So little bit about this radiator. It's all aluminum, as you can see. So they have welds across the top here, all these interfaces. The reason that this is an upgrade, even though it's like the OEM size, it's a dual core radiator. So it's got more channels, 2 channels for the coolant to flow through, and it's all aluminum. So the last radiator failed. It's a plastic top and it failed where the plastic meets the like aluminum core. And so I knew I didn't want to have that problem again, so I went with the upgrade. I didn't get a name brand. This is a good old eBay radiator. So why did I get an eBay radiator? Because they're definitely not known for their quality on there. Really, I wanted to get a cross flow radiator. Let's talk about radiators. What are they? What do they do? Why is this an upgrade? So how does the radiator work? Again, what are the differences in radiators? For your radiator, you have your inlet, which is where your hot coolant goes into, and then that will flow. And you can see my beautiful colors here. We got red, hot liquid, and then blue is cool liquid. It flows through the cores where air is going through it and it cools it off, and then it comes out your outlet. I have 2 different radiators here. I have a downflow radiator and a crossflow radiator. The one I'm putting in my car is a downflow radiator, and it's as it says, coolant flows top and then flows down. In a crossflow radiator, you have it moving side to side, or well, in one direction generally. So from your left side to your right, or a crossflow. What's the difference here? So the crossflow radiator, it actually moves slower. The coolant moves slower in the radiator, but that's a good thing. You want the coolant to move a little bit slower because that allows the air to pass through it more and cool it off better. So this actually has higher performance. The radiator I got is a downflow one. Simply, I couldn't find a crossflow that works for my car, but I did find one that had 3 cores. And my downflow radiator has 2 cores versus a 1 core radiator. So that's an upgrade right there. How a dual core radiator works, I'll draw a little picture for you. 1 core, you flow in one direction. In a dual core, you would flow down, back up, and then down again. And then if you were in like a crossflow radiator, it could go like this, down, like that. So a triple core would make three directional changes. Why would you do these directional changes? The more times it's in the radiator, this extends the time it takes for the coolant to pass through the radiator, and the longer it spends in there, the cooler it's gonna get, and then your engine's gonna stay cooler. So that's a little bit about radiators. The crossflow radiators have a little bit more efficiency, so I really wanted to do that, but I couldn't find any for the naturally aspirated engines because I need a reservoir right here on the radiator, and for all the turbo engines, they have a reservoir that they can fill their coolant from that's near the turbo, and so I couldn't get that upgrade. But I know eventually I want to do an STI or turbo engine, so check out that video. I talk a little bit about what I'm trying to do with that, but that project's kind of on hold for now, so we'll get back to that one later. So so for now, I got this. It's cheaper than getting a Mishimoto radiator. I spent 120 bucks on this with free shipping, and we're gonna put it in the car. We're gonna mount up our stock fans to it, and then we're going to do a pressure test on it to make sure it's good before we fire up the car with this, because that would not be fun. So we're gonna do a little quality control on this radiator. Alright, before we can put the radiator in the car, we have to install our fans. But as you can see, they're a little dirty. So I'm going to take some cleaning wipes and just clean up the dirt off these before I install them, because it would be nice to have, you know, good looking fans, good looking radiator, and good performance. Alright, so I didn't show y'all cleaning it, and I didn't really clean it that well just because it's kind of boring, but yeah, just use some wipes and wiped up some surfaces. I didn't really get into these spots here because kind of hard to get into with this wipe, so it is what it is. But now it's time to install the fans to the radiator. Something that I learned is this radiator, slightly different. It has the same installation holes, but we're going to use a different fastener. So on the stock radiator we had screws to bolt the fans to it, but on this car, or this radiator rather, it has M6 fine thread like fastener inserts right there. So we had to get different bolts. So I got a 20 millimeter long threaded bolts that are M6-1, which is the fine thread pitch. And yeah, we're gonna put these on the car. So first thing, you're gonna line up these like feet here with the holes in the bottom, like so.
2 hours later.
Okay. And then you get your holes lined up right here. Bring in a bolt. Okay, so again, since we got an eBay radiator, not the best quality. The holes for my fan don't necessarily line up, but that's what we have a drill for. So I'm gonna drill out a hole right here. I already aligned this one. These are in the slots on the bottom. So I'm just gonna drill out this plastic a little bit and then put a fastener through it. So let's do it. Alright, so y'all just saw me struggle there. We have the fans on. These ones actually came on after a slight modification to that hole. A bolt sheared off in here, but I mean, this fan's on pretty good, so I might just leave it for now. Maybe I'll get to pulling that, extracting that bolt eventually. This guy's gonna do all the work, but what better way to install eBay radiator than doing a shitty job? I don't really care too much about drilling holes in it just because it's the stock fan, so they're not really an upgrade, but let's get it in the car and pressure test it, and then we'll worry about the stripped hole later. All right, progress update. None of our hoses line up either, top or bottom. So we're gonna have to do some cutting to get these right. But I think before I do that, I'll install the mounting brackets here so that I have everything in its right place before I cut more shit. Whew! Got my hoses cut to the right length and installed. Now it's time to add coolant and do a pressure test. So I'll show you how that's done. First, some coolant. I will use a coolant funnel. All right, pressure gauge. We're gonna pump it. So we're going to 1.1 bar or 15 PSI. Right. We're sitting at 15 PSI.
2 hours later.
So far, so good. All right, car's back on the ground. Time to fill the coolant all the way and bleed it. It's time to wrap this video up. It's been a long time. We've done a lot of work to the car. We talked about radiators, how they work, and I installed the radiator. I've driven it now. It's been about a week that I've had the car with the radiator installed, and I've put about 40 miles on it now. I don't really drive it that often, but I've taken it to work and back a couple times. And so far it works great. I have no complaints right now. We'll see how it goes, later after a longer stint of driving with the car, but it's working as intended right now. And yeah, the eBay radiators, they work. I don't know about the performance gains yet. I haven't been able to really track the car or test it out. I'm still in the break-in project. I'm still in the break-in process for the new engine, so we'll have to wait and see how this works on the track. I'm hoping it keeps us cool, and I mean, we don't have any coolant leaks anymore, although that was really the head gasket mostly previously. But yeah, now we're really making some good steps here on the car. More upgrades to come. I'm kind of in between doing an exhaust, suspension, body. I don't know really what's to come next. I'm gonna probably ask you the viewers to help make that decision, because it's a hard one for me to make. I want to do everything, and I'm having a hard time prioritizing. So I'll ask you all for that. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like, some comments, subscribe, obviously, that would be great. And yeah, just let me know what you thought. Would you buy an eBay radiator and put it in your car? I did. So far it's worked.